Folks, welcome to the Black Men Summit here on the Culture on the Black Star Network, where we're talking about redefining and celebrating Black manhood. I'm your special guest. When I say special guest, I'm your host, Faraji Muhammad. Thank you so much for tuning in. Folks, we are going to have, this is day 3 of our fantastic summit. Over the past 2 days, we've been talking to Black men from across the country to give us some insight and analysis and some hope and solutions as well about some of the areas that Black men are struggling in right now. And today will be no different from that. We are going to continue this conversation. We wanted to have a discussion about where we are with the state of education of Black America. And so we wanted to do our part to bring some dynamic voices to this discussion, Black men who are leading the way in making sure that other brothers and sisters and our communities and our families are all gaining from this situation and this system of education. So without further ado, we want to welcome our very special guest here today. We are joined by Dr. Steve Perry, who serves as the educator. He's an author and he's founder of Capital Prep Schools. My brother, it's always good to see him here on the Black Star Network. Brother Steve, thank you so much, sir, for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much. I'm truly honored to be part of this conversation.
Absolutely. Also joining us is Anthony Pena, who is an educator and activist. He has been working with young people and Black boys in particular in underserved communities for the past almost a decade now that he's been doing that incredible work. Brother Anthony, thank you so much for joining us as well.
Thank you, Brother Faraj. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. And then in a few moments, we should be joined by, if I'm not mistaken, Brother David Miller. He's going to be coming and joining us, and we're going to be checking in with him as he serves as an educator and author and founder of the Dare to Be King curriculum. Dr. Perry, let's start with you, big brother. When we talk about this issue of Black men in education, there are a lot of ways we can handle this conversation. So I'm going to start here. When do you think that it happened when we started to see a decline, and in some cases, a removal of Black men from the school system? Some people would go as far as to say that it was during that landmark decision of Brown versus the Board of Education, that once schools started to become more integrated, that we started to see something change within the culture of education of Black children, but more importantly, we started to see something different in the administration of education from Black teachers. What's your take on that, big brother?
Again, thank you so much for having the conversation, because it's so important. But it's a bigger conversation than even the Brown versus Board of Education. Black men were never intended to be full participants in what we refer to as formal education. In fact, it was never supposed to be something that we were supposed to have had access to. From the time of slavery, the expectation was that if you taught the men in the community to read, those men would rise up and recognize that they, in fact, were human. And so the formation of what we refer to as public education was designed in many ways to indoctrinate people of color. The first public school that's on record was not